What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Mid-Level Media Channel. Today we're here for a 4K review of a Second Sight Films release. We are talking about Pearl on 4K. Look at this nice, gorgeous second. I feel like it's been so long since I've had a nice Second Sight box set in hand. I think the only, well, I've got another one. I haven't showed it off yet, but this is the second Second Sight release that I've gotten in 2025. They have not been exactly lighting the world on fire for me this year. I'm not saying they haven't been for others. You could be very happy with what they've done in 2025, but I haven't been super interested in anything outside of the Nice Guys and Pearl and the other one that I got that I'll talk about at a later date. But yeah, I did not get Maxine. I only got Pearl on 4K, and I'm going to tell you why. Because I got this A24 edition, which in this video, guys, I will be comparing the A24 4K that came out in this set versus the Second Sight 4K, and there is some differences. There's some differences, so we're going to dive into that. But I got this set of all three of the X Trilogy movies in 4K, so I didn't really need to get Max. I didn't really need to get Pearl in 4K, but Pearl is my favorite of the three. So I figured I would go ahead and get this, and I loved the artwork on it. Look at that, guys. You got Mia Goth as Pearl in that red dress with the axe, just perfect. So I love the artwork on this one. The Maxine artwork was great too. I didn't love Maxine. Honestly, like I didn't love X. I think X is good. It's a good slasher film. Maxine, I may need to watch that one again. I feel like there's something there that maybe I would enjoy more on a second viewing. But I didn't get that one because, again, I've got the entire trilogy on 4K, so I figured I would just get my favorite one from Second Sight. Now, I will say if Second Sight, and this kind of sucks that they couldn't do this, but apparently they couldn't get the rights because there's another company in the UK that has the rights. And we've yet to see like that 4K and who it's coming from, but apparently that's the case. But they couldn't do X, you know, from Second Sight. So because they couldn't do X, I did not feel compelled to get both of them. Now, if they would have done all three, I probably would have grabbed all three. Because that's how psychotic I can get with this physical media stuff. So, like, if I could see that I can complete a collection and like have them all together in like cool Second Sight box set releases, I would probably do it. But since I can only get two anyway, and I can't complete them anyway, I might as well not get Maxine. So, long story short, I just got Pearl. That's what we're talking about today, and I will be able to compare it to this set right here. I've also got Pearl twice again. I've got these two Pearl Blu-rays that came out back in the day. This was the Lionsgate, you know, regular slipcover version. This was available everywhere on Amazon, Walmart, all the places. I think Target back in the day when they still did Blu-rays. This one was the Walmart exclusive that came out exclusively at Walmart. So I really like the cover on this one, and I was at Walmart one day. I think they had it marked down a little bit, so I decided to get this one as well. But I think it's the same back actually. No, it's actually different. There's different backs and then there's different covers, but everything else is exactly the same. And these are both Blu-rays. So there you go. I own the movie several times. I saw this. I think this is the only one of the trilogy I saw in the theaters, and I really enjoyed this movie in the theaters. I watched it again when I got the Blu-ray, but I haven't seen it since 2022 until this morning when I watched it. The movie still holds up for me. Like there's something really unique about this one when you compare it to the other two. I don't know if it's the time period, but I just really like this time period. I like the aesthetic. It does have that like old school Hollywood like vibe to it, like Wizard of Oz, Technicolor, like everything just looks really good. And this one, I knew this one would really shine in 4K. So again, we're going to talk about that if it actually delivered here in a second. But this was one I knew I wanted to see in 4K. And there's been other releases too. I think Germany did a 4K of this one as well. But the movie still totally holds up for me. This movie to me is the showcase of Mia Goth as a talent, as a performer. Like she gives every bit of herself to this movie and this performance as the character of Pearl. And this movie actually does make X a little bit better for me because one of the big issues I had with X was Pearl and just not buying into her as this like psychotic old lady. After you watch Pearl, you kind of understand a little bit more. Like they give you enough in X to understand where she's coming from, but after you get her backstory in Pearl, I feel like that makes X a little bit better. Pearl is great, though. I think this is a legitimately great film. This is one of my favorite horror movies of the 2020s. And it still holds up. And I think it mostly holds up. There's some really effective like kill sequences and gore sequences in the film. But I think it holds up because it's just a good movie. It's got great cinematography. It's got great performances. Mia Goth's great, but also the actress that plays her mom is really good. And then you got Superman in this film. What is it? David Corner Sweat or whatever. This was before he was really anybody. But he's really good in the movie, and everybody in the film is just kind of doing their job. And then you got that iconic like monologue at the end that just goes on for probably too long, but it's still a great showcase of Mia Goth and her acting capabilities. And I think this movie showcases that better than any other movie that she's been in, Frankenstein included, which I think she was kind of wasted in that movie. Let's unbox it, guys. Pearl, such a beautiful cover on this second sight release. Then you flip it around, you got the J card with all the information here. Bam. Bam. You got the casting list, all that good stuff. Then you take the J card off, and then you got the same color, same cover with the same color. So then you got the spine. You got that second sight logo. Now, this is an A24 film, but it's also got Universal on it as well. So I'm not clear on the collaboration there. And then on the back, you got all the farmlands. It's really interesting when you get into like, you know, how this movie got made. And basically, Ty West, who directed this film, he made X. And they didn't want to waste the location. He had an idea for a prequel, so he reached out to A24 and he's like, hey, before we tear down this set that we built for X, why don't we shoot another movie, and it'll be significantly less because we don't have to build another set. We're just going to have it on the same location, and then we'll shoot this prequel film and also put it out. And then they let him do Maxine based on the success of X and Pearl. Take all this out of the case. You got all the art cards on the inside. This is an iconic scene in this film with the Mia Goth and the Scarecrow, for sure. But guys, let me know in the comments section, you know, subscribe as well, like the video. Let me know which one. I mean, this is such a visually stunning scene, like when she's doing that performance. But let me know which one of the trilogy is your favorite. I feel like everybody's got a different answer. You know, there's X people, there's Pearl people. I feel like that's the I feel like the fan base for both of those movies are the most or the biggest. But Maxine definitely has its fans, and I have heard some people say that Maxine's their favorite. So which one's your favorite? Let me know in the comment section. Right here, you got a nice booklet, which you got Mia Goth on the cover of that. Then you got more of the farmland stuff. And really nice booklet right here with some great stuff inside. You got essays, you got images. I will say her dad, even though he doesn't do too much, like some of his performance, like some of the facial expressions are really good too. So this movie's just got really, really good performances. This is more of a prestige, like art house film, I feel like. And I think that's the disconnect with some people that like the more like sleazy slasher style of X. This one really is kind of tonally different. But you got a lot of great, you know, essays and stuff in here. And you got some information on the actual 4K. This was done, I think the authoring was done by Fidelity Emotion, which is kind of the top tier authoring 4K company. So right here on the inside, you got this little digipack right there with some showcasing some of the great cinematography of the film. And then you've got the disc art right there with the clouds, which is pretty damn cool as well. Now, I will say Second Sight is kind of skimping a little bit, and I don't know if they've started doing this. I mean, the price for this wasn't bad. I think I paid like 45 bucks to get this set. But they used to include the Blu-ray as well. Now it looks like they're just doing the 4K. But I remember when they would do the 4K and the Blu-ray. I mean, Second Sight's always done this, but I kind of like having all the features on the 4K because the Blu-ray's usually region locked. Now, I do have a region free player, but I don't always have that player hooked up, or sometimes I might take it to another room or something. So like I appreciate having all the features on the actual 4K disc. So that's usually how I watch the features. So it doesn't really matter to me that they don't include the Blu-ray here. And I've got this movie like 3 times on Blu-ray anyway. But it is something I noticed that they used to do, and now they're not doing anymore. with these second sight releases. So overall, really good presentation as far as the packaging. Now, getting into the actual 4K itself, really good 4K, really great details. And, Fidelity Motion always does a great job authoring these discs and stuff. What I will say is when you compare it to the A24 4K, there is a little bit of a difference as far as how it looks, how saturated, how colorful the movie actually looks on 4K from A24 versus 4K from Second Sight. Second Sight's is much more, I guess, natural. It's a little bit darker as well in tone, and it's just slightly less saturated and slightly less colorful. The A24 4K has a little bit more saturation to it. It is a little bit more colorful. And I was wondering, like, is my mind playing tricks on me here? Like, is the A24 like a lot brighter and more colorful than the Second Sight? So I put in the Second Sight, then I put in the A24, then I put in the Second Sight, then I put in the A24. I snapped some pictures, and there's a picture that I took of David Cornsweet coming out of the building. They're like in the side alley, and you got this pink pipe. And that pink pipe in the A24 4K looked a lot more colorful, looked a lot more vivid in that picture versus the Second Sight. So then I was like, okay, I'm not going crazy. It is more colorful with the A24 4K. So personally, like, I can see people on both sides of that argument, more people that like the more natural, pure look of Pearl on 4K from Second Sight, and that's probably what they were going for. A little bit darker, a little bit more natural. And I think that there's going to be people that, because it's Pearl and it is, kind of a more bright, colorful movie, especially than X and Maxine, I think there's going to be people that prefer that A24 4K look because it's a movie that's supposed to be a little bit more colorful. Personally, like when she's riding that bike and she's got the cornfields in the background, I like the more saturated, colorful look of the 4K from A24 than I do from Second Sight. Personally, so I like the look, but honestly, like, it might be a mood thing. Maybe I'll be in the mood to watch the movie look a little bit more natural, a little bit more like it would actually look if you were in the actual environment itself versus the more saturated look of the A24 version. But it all comes down to preference, guys. It is something I just wanted to note here. So yeah, it's a little bit more vibrant, a little bit more colorful with the A24 version versus the Second Sight. But again, the Second Sight one, I think, is a little bit more natural, a little bit darker in tone and picture quality as well. Both of them, as far as the level of detail, are great. Honestly, like when it comes to newer films, most of the time, these newer films are going to look great regardless if you're watching on Blu-ray or 4K. You're going to notice a little bit of an uptick in detail with the 4K, but oftentimes the Blu-rays are going to be just fine. Now, digging into the audio here, you do have an Atmos, and I believe the Atmos is an upgrade. Now, the Atmos is present in the A24 version. It's also present in the Second Sight version as well. So you have both the Atmos in both versions. You also have the 5.1 as well. So you have the 5.1, and then you also have the Atmos with this. And as far as the sound, it's a great score. It's a great soundtrack. I don't know if this is a movie that you need Atmos for, but I think it's pretty cool. I mean, there is like some thunderstorms and stuff and some moments like that where I think it is very effective to have that more immersive Atmos. And I think that sound junkies and people that have that full setup are definitely going to appreciate that. So it's good that it's included here for sure. Now, getting into the features, this is where the Second Sight version truly shines, especially over this A24 edition. And this is why, honestly, I got the Second Sight, because I wanted those extra features. You got a new interview here with Ty West that's about 18 minutes long. Then you got an interview with the actress that plays her mother, and that's about Tandy Wright, and that's about 30 minutes long. She was actually the intimacy coordinator on X, and then Ty West picked her out. He's like, she would be good to be the mother in Pearl. So that was kind of interesting. So that's about 30 minutes long. Then you got Absorb the Aesthetic, a new interview with director of photography, Elliot Rocket. Then you've got Going Technicolor, a new interview with production designer Tom Hammock, and both of these are about 20 minutes long. And then you've got Hollywood Goes West, a video essay by Joe Wallace, which is about 10, 11 minutes long for that video essay. So all in all, you got a good like hour and 45 minutes of brand new interviews on this that both of these do not have. I mean, the archival features, which is let's see, Coming Out of Her Shell and Time After Time. So there's two archival features that are about 20 minutes. Both of those are on the past Blu-ray releases, and also both of those are on this edition right here. But you do not have any new features as far as like new interviews and stuff on this A24 edition. The only new thing that you have on this that is not on the second sight is a commentary. And I believe that the commentary, I have to open this up probably. I want to say the commentary is with the cinematographer and the editor. I don't think it's Ty West. So you got filmmaker commentary with DP, the DP Elliot Rocket, and production designer Tom Hammock. So the two people that give interviews here have the commentary on the A24 in the A24 version, but that's it. That's the only thing that's new here on the A24 version that is not on the second site. But the second site has a new audio commentary with Alexandra Heller Nicholas. So that's the commentary that it has on here. No commentary with Ty West though, which is a little disappointing. I would think that like a Ty West Mia Goth commentary would be pretty cool if they were able to include that. But you know, really cool that we got that new interview with Ty West and the actress that plays her mom. It's about 30 minutes. And all in all, like the features here are really great. And that's the true reason to get the second sight release. And if you like that more naturalistic look that this 4K provides versus the A24 4K. But overall, I think they're both like really solid 4K. So if you're basing it on like the 4K alone, you're probably fine just getting the trilogy if you just want all of them together in a complete collection. But if you want to go the extra mile and get those brand new features, then you might want to get this second sight version right here. But all in all, guys, really great addition from second sight. I'm glad to finally be buying second sight editions again. I'll give you a preview. I don't know if I'm going to review this or not, but I'll definitely talk about it at some point. I did get the Florida Project as well. I love the Florida Project. I'm loving the A24 run that second sight is doing right now. There's definitely some other A24 films I would love to see come out from Second Sight Films. But yeah, that's my review of Pearl, guys, on 4K from Second Sight. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you found it valuable. I'll link it down below if you're interested. But like, comment, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Turn on those bell notifications for all future videos and follow me on all my social media accounts. Those links are down below in the description, and we'll see you next time.